freelancers, they split their time between current projects and future projects, you know, having work and getting work. I think that's a really good way of like managing your own time as like a broad stroke of you should spend half of your time managing what you're doing now and half of your time planning to manage it, especially in that kind of higher director role. It's really important, like we were just talking about with, you know, that division of doing the job, being the person doing the job day to day and being the person helping create the environment for that to exist. You have to do that more. You know, if you're an individual at the top of a company, you have to start setting that roadmap. So when everybody else gets there, the ground is already ready for them to do their best job. And then another thing, like we learn a lot, and it's a real habit that especially people in the hospitality industry get in, is this idea of like being professional means to have meetings. So let's have loads of meetings about everything. And actually in an industry like hospitality, there's preparation and planning, but so much of the job is doing. And it's the same for media. You know, you can plan everything, but sometimes the most important thing is get out there and do it. I try to massively reduce the amount of meetings we have, but increase the amount of one-to-ones I have with people. And one of the reasons for that is what you find is, and you spend most of your time having meetings, one of the consequences is that that's when you encounter most of the information. And if you think about how you're going to manage loads of different projects and lots of different people, the least ideal time to process information as someone helping lead a company is in front of other people, because it's a lot harder to manicure your reaction and your response and how you deal with it, and it's much harder for other people to regulate their response in front of other people. And so what I found was to have these one-to-ones, but actually what they're really is you taking all of that interpersonal reaction and making it a one-on-one environment where you can have a much more direct and honest conversation about like what we're doing, where we're going, how have things gone, and then have those meetings that you do need regularly, but reduce the amount of information that's shared in them, and trying to move that away from we're going to talk through an idea as a team to I'm going to talk through an idea with one, maybe two people, but then we're going to discuss what we're doing as a team. And it was something that like I learned a lot through like having many meetings, is especially when you're in that role, and especially if you're growing quickly, a lot of people look to you, and those meetings can then very quickly become you basically dictating a load of actions. Okay, we're going to move to the next spot. So you guys need to do this. And everyone goes, yeah. And they go away and they come, and then we go, you didn't do that. Okay, we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to do, and rather than what a meeting should be, is everyone reporting in on what they're doing and sharing information and going, this is where we're going, this, and this is the update on this. And, oh, by the way, we were talking about this. Can you articulate this more? That's the benefit of a meeting. And trying to just, if you, at that point, at that like top level, if you can organize your time in that way, where you can really clearly say, this time is dedicated to this, and this time is dedicated to this, and this is the output from that. It helps everybody else do their day to day a lot more, and that helps them focus more on the next thing and the next thing. When you look beyond that, right? You look for what's the thing beyond the thing we don't know? How do you start to like form that initial idea that we can then put out into the team, and it will change, and then eventually have that final thing at the end of the process. The moment a project becomes real, the moment something gets to the point where, okay, we need to do something on it, delegating it away. And being like, okay, so now this is something that's going to require like a certain amount of work or a day-to-day just maintenance of, delegating away to someone, and then setting up that regular checking in with them. If everything else is delegated away and you're not contingent on something being done, if something goes wrong in the other projects, that's when you can bring your expertise and your experience to that to fix that problem. So then you enter in and you go, okay, this project's hit a problem. I'm going to step in and I'm going to be able to solve this as the person at the top who makes the decisions, and everything else will just keep working away. And it sounds bad, but like the reality is everyone always manages their workload anyway like that. Everybody in life responds to the thing that's flashing at them most. It's just people attribute different value to different things, so they think something's more important than not, right? So just making that also really open, and letting the people you work with know, like, I have these regular check-ins. You're valued. I'm going to work on this project. You're doing it because it's something we want to see happen. Here's how the prospects of it. But in the meantime, all of the team here know that if they need me, they can reach out, but only to reach out if they need me. Because if not, I'm probably dealing with someone else who's having a crisis or who's going through a bit of an issue. You know, you're never going to have more than 1 week where no part of any of the businesses and projects is going perfectly. Right? Yeah. So that's you have to build that redundancy in, and it's better to build the redundancy in at a higher level than a lower level. It's better to have a CEO or a director with free time to be able to help do future projects or manage one than an excess of staff members who can't.